Stop stretching your sciatica. It is making it worse and it is preventing you from healing. All over the internet, you see stretch your piriformis here and stretch your hamstring there, but in reality, these are not good stretches for the vast majority of you with sciatica. And I'm going to show you what you can do instead. My name is Dr. Grant Elliott, and we have helped thousands of people around the world fully recover from low back pain, disc herniation, and sciatica. And in this episode, number 137 of the Low Back Pain Podcast, I'm going to show you why we don't recommend most sciatica stretches and what you can do instead. Real quick, if you have not joined my private Facebook group yet, you need to do so. It is called RehabFix Low Back Program, and immediately upon joining, you will receive our free step-by-step sciatica guide. This is the same process that we have taken thousands of our clients through around the world to identify exactly how to fix their sciatica and ultimately become pain-free through our one-on-one coaching program. In this group, you will be able to see our clients and what they're doing for success and additional resources and more free guides. So if you're serious about fixing your back, you need to join this group, RehabFix Low Back Program. See you soon. So why is stretching your sciatica a bad idea for most people? The reason why is because what causes sciatica is compression on a nerve. And a disc is going to be directly compressing that nerve, or a bony fragment, or just a localized irritation of that nerve itself. But the reason why it's causing pain is because the nerve is irritated. The nerve is irritated, so it's sending signals down the nerve to different regions of your leg. Individuals with a pinched nerve or nerve encroachment can feel pain in their lower back, in their glute, in their thigh, in their hamstring, in their calf, in their foot, in their toes, anywhere throughout the leg. And if you are stretching this irritated nerve, then you will likely irritate it further. And sensitive nerves do not typically like being stretched. That's what causes the pain. There is actually a test that we take a lot of our clients through called the slump test. This test is when you sit, you lean forward, you bring your chin to your chest, you straighten one leg out at a time, and you put your toes to the ceiling. It's like a really strong calf hamstring stretch. And most people with sciatica, this does not feel good. This lights them up. Why? Because it's directly pulling on that nerve where it is being pushed on, where it is sensitive, and it doesn't like it. This is very similar to most of you out there. When you try to touch your toes, you'll feel that pull extra hard in your glute or your hamstring or your calf. You'll feel it pulling through that leg. It's because you have nerve tension. An irritated nerve that is being compressed by a disc or irritated otherwise creates sensitivity in that region and creates nerve tension. It tries to tell your body to not stretch that region because tugging on something that's sensitive doesn't feel good. And it can agitate that disc, it can agitate that nerve further. So for most people we talk to, once again, not everybody, but most people we talk to, they will find that stretching their hamstrings, they might feel like they're getting a good stretch in that moment, like, oh yeah, I'm really getting it. But then afterwards, they're usually flared up. The next day, they're usually flared up. The same thing goes for our typical piriformis stretches, our pigeon poses, our seated piriformis stretches, anything where we're stretching that nerve. It might light up your glute. It might make you feel like you got a fire or a hot poker in your glute. This is very common. And that's usually not a good thing. That usually means you are simply agitating that area. You're just agitating it. You think you're getting some work in because it's lighting up that area of complaint, but not in a good way most of the time, usually in a bad way. You're waking the injury up again. So if this area is trying to heal, but you're just constantly re-aggravating it, you're going to prevent it from healing. So you can actually make your situation worse. Now, not all cases are like this. There are some unique cases where actually tensioning the nerve can be a good thing, but that's more rare, and we work with clients one-on-one to figure out who needs what. But these types of videos are for the majority of people, and we've worked with thousands of people with sciatica, so we know what works for the majority of people, but we do make modifications based on what you need specifically. So my biggest piece of advice is to basically stop doing these stretches on your nerve if you're not noticing long-term results. If it's temporary and you're just right back in the same place, or it kind of flares you up after or the next day, then I would just advise stop doing it because you're probably just agitating it and making it worse. So what can we do instead? Here's what we can do instead. First, understand that the symptoms in your leg are a symptom of what's going on in the lower back. So if you're stretching the glute, you're stretching the calf, you're stretching the hamstring, you're just trying to target where the symptoms are, but not where the problem is, right? So how about we focus on where the problem is? The first exercise of many that might work for you, but once again, this is a generalized video, is our extensions, our lumbar extensions. Many of our clients with sciatica will notice that, yes, they might be tight bending forward. That might be very limited bending forward, sitting long periods. They might feel really tight staying up after sitting long periods. These are very common symptoms. Bending over to put socks and shoes on in the morning, it sucks, right? But they also find that they're limited into extension as well, leaning backwards. This is a very common limitation that we see. So for individuals where the disc is pushing on the nerve, the disc is agitating the nerve, for some individuals, getting into lumbar extension can help reduce that disc pressure and take pressure off the nerve. You can do this by simply starting on your stomach and propping up on your elbows and breathing nice and deeply in this position to let yourself get relaxed and used to it. You can progress by then lowering your chest down to the floor and then pushing yourself back up, just still on your elbows, as far down and as far up as you can, getting more and more repetitions. You might start to notice that this gets looser and looser as you do that. And then eventually, of course, depending on where you're at in your rehab and with where your pain's at and all these things, this is why we take each of our clients through an individual assessment, because we want to figure out where you're at so we can make the right judgment calls. But generally speaking, if you're able to work through this, then you can progress to a full extension, which is where your hands are like a push-up. You're pushing all the way up with your hips on the ground, getting full lumbar extension. And there's additional progressions beyond this as well to fully resolve it. But this is an initial sequence that you can work through to reduce disc pressure off that nerve, reduce nerve tension, reduce the sciatic in the leg. Hey, real quick, if you're watching this video and you're resonating with the things that I'm saying and you're ready to be pain-free, just click the link below and you can schedule a call personally with my team so we can meet with you, go over your current situation and figure out what you're missing and help you develop a game plan so that you can finally become pain-free. This is for serious people only, so click the link if you are ready to go. Back to the show. The second exercise is our classic nerve floss. Now with nerve flossing, we actually usually don't do this movement on the front end of our rehab with our clients. This is usually in conjunction with other rehab movements that target things a little bit better, but it can still be a very palliative movement. So for a nerve floss, you can lay on your back. You can be seated as well, but it's typically more comfortable on your back. You support your leg with your hands, and you just gently extend the leg straight. Once again, like you're stretching that nerve, you might be thinking, Grant, why would you do this? Because the method in which we do it here is that we're just extending the leg or stretching the hamstring to the point of tension, just to the point of tension, and then backing off. Stretch it to the point of tension, back off. Stretch it to the point of tension and back off. We're not increasing the pain, we're just barely kissing it. This motion can help the nerve slide back and forth and potentially regain some mobility in that nerve and improve blood flow to that nerve and can help reduce inflammation. But once again, we usually combine this with other exercises for a greater effect. Now, finally, another exercise we can add to this sequence is our frog mobilization. This is a great movement to open up your hips and to help mobilize your hips to take pressure off of the lower back and to improve the mobility through your lumbar and pelvis region. You're going to be on all fours, abduct your legs as much as you can so you're in a wide stance looking like a frog. And then you're going to rock forward and backwards, slowly increasing that range over time, further forward and further back. And a tip is to have your lower back in extension while we do this, especially if you're someone who responded well to the lumbar extensions. We want to promote extension while we're mobilizing our hips. So this will help mobilize your hips, reduce pressure off of your low back and all these other regions, can help mobilize the nerve a little bit as well. It might just help you feel way more freed up. So these are addressing more what the source is, not where the symptoms are, because you can have symptoms in your glute, in your hamstring, and in your calf, right? If you're just going to a massage therapist and getting massages in those regions, you're masking symptoms. If you're getting acupuncture in those regions, you're masking symptoms. If you're getting scraping or whatever else done in those regions, you're masking symptoms. We want to address the source. Any sciatica is coming from your low back. Let me say that again. Any sciatica is coming from your low back. You need to address the low back or the symptoms in the leg won't go away. The low back is the source. The leg is the symptoms. So these 3 quick exercises I just gave you, very general for this audience, but we work with tons of people with sciatica, can help you start to address the source. Our first one's reducing disc pressure. Our second one, improving nerve mobility, nerve blood flow, reducing inflammation. And the third one, mobilizing our hips to improve our mechanical function around the lower back. And I have great news for you. If you start working on these and you start to notice immediate benefit, then you can get better with the right rehab plan. You can recover. No matter how long you've dealt with this, no matter what surgeons are telling you need, you need injections, you need surgery, nothing else can help you. Even if you've tried multiple chiros, multiple PTs, and you feel like you've tried it all, if you're seeing immediate improvement with this sequence, that can be very powerful for the right people. This is just a small taste of what we can help you through with a well-structured program with guidance. Because this is what we do all day, every day. You are responding to conservative care. So congratulations. You can get better. You just need to know the right movements in the right order at the right times and how to appropriately progress to ensure that you get 100% pain-free and then bulletproof back to living your life any way you want, because you deserve to live pain-free. You just need a plan and you just need to take action with it. So if you would like our help in setting up this plan, we would love to meet with you. Be sure to click below and schedule a call with us using the link provided so that we can go over your current situation, figure out how we can help, and help you put a game plan together, because nobody deserves to live in pain. Not you and not your family or friends deserve to have you a lesser version of yourself in their lives. Everybody wants you around 100% as long as possible, because you only get one life. And we want to make sure we're living it to the utmost of our abilities. Once again, be sure to join my Facebook group, RehabFix Low Back Program, so you can get additional exclusive content and our free sciatica guide immediately upon joining. If you are watching this on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you are listening on your favorite podcast platform, please leave a 5-star rating and review so we can grow this podcast and help reach more individuals who deserve to get results, who feel like they're spinning their tires and getting frustrated in doing so. As always, move more, move in nature, move in the sun. Thank you so much for listening and have a great day.